Okay, so in reviewing the first video of today, I saw not only did I it had audio. It had audio a couple of minutes into it, and then for some reason, a couple of minutes into it, the audio just cut off. I didn't touch a thing. So I am going to make sure that I'm able to see your comments and your questions and make sure. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
There we go. I know that is me. Totally okay with it. All right. So I'm not going to redo the reading. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pull some more cards because that was like over an hour. It was like an hour and a half. And I don't know what happened, but I know that the sound just cut out like on my recording. So I ended up having to delete it. No big deal. No big deal. So I'm going to pull from these. I'm going to do a bit of a shorter one. I'm going to ring the bell. I need to ring it harder. I'm going to go with Shadowscapes because I didn't pull Shadowscapes earlier, even though Snuggles was like, pull Shadowscapes. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to make sure I still have Shadowscapes. There we go. I don't know why the audio cut out. I didn't touch anything. Hey, welcome. In seeing that my first video, that one that was I had to end due to lack of audio, the audio cut off within a few minutes. And so I am kind of at like I didn't do anything there. So I'm redoing it, but in a way I'm not redoing it. So I'm going to burn some sage. Put whatever negative energies that you need to into the smoke. I'm going to be making a circle, calling in my spirit guides, calling in the guardians of the 7 sacred directions, and calling in the goddess Danu, who's my patron goddess. I'm mostly Irish, which is Celtic. And so finding out that Danu is my patron goddess was like, woo! Anyway. Let's see here. Lover's Oracle. So now I'm like checking my audio, making sure. If you could like make a comment and say that you can hear me, that would be great. That way I know that you hear me. That would be fantastic. Or you can give it a thumbs up. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I recently channel, so it's in a new vibe, which is fantastic. Foundations and achievements. And then bottom of the deck, which was from earlier, is Love Begins, which is normally the Ace of Cups. It's typically the Ace of Cups. Destiny. So because my first video didn't have any audio for today, I did a second stream. I did a second live stream, but I talked about my my weight loss journey, and I feel like that was important, so I'm not deleting it. I think that has a lot of good medicine in there to be able to, like, it might be somebody else's survival guide. I enjoy telling my story in a way that brings purpose to other people's lives. Like, you know, it could be their survival guide too. So I like to talk about my triumphs. Okay, so these are the psychic. This is the Psychic Tarot deck, or the Psychic Psychic Tarot Oracle deck from John Holland. It's a really good deck. So woo! Shadow. We all have light and shadow. What society tends to do is repress the shadow, and that is spiritually bypassing and spiritually gaslighting yourself. And I've even done it to myself. So I stopped doing it whenever I realized that that's what I was doing. But the goal is to integrate your shadow with your light to be able to work with both in a loving way. That's the goal. But society does tend to suppress the shadow, which is never really good. That's where disease starts. We don't want that. We don't want that. Okay. I am also going to pull from Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael, so I want to do that as well. I'm actually going to put them over here. Oh, see, light, shadow, and light. What was I just talking about? This one. I like to make sure that they're good and shuffled. Like, I don't want... Oh, that's right. I do want to open a circle. So I'm going to open a circle. I call in my spirit guides. I connect to my higher self. I encourage you to call in your spirit guides as well and to connect to your higher self. I encourage you to do that. How else will you know if the messages are meant for you or not? I know that I've done it. I've made a scenario fit that actually wasn't meant for me. So I don't do that anymore. I tell my guides I'm open, or even I tell Holy Spirit I'm open to the messages that are meant that are meant for me personally. And then I say my name, and so that's how I focus on the messages that are meant for me. The ones that are not meant for me, I don't even, I just let them go. But I call in my spirit guides, Holy Spirit. I call in Goddess Danu. There were some good messages in that reading. And I mean, like, I was on point. So at least I had validation that I was connected with my higher self and I was connecting with my intuition. So that's a great, that's great. What messages do you have for the collective on January 20th, 2020? I showed off my rocks in the part 2, like as in the gemstones in part 2. So I went through the stock of, and I haven't watched it yet. And I do go back and I watch the replay. I watch the video. I always look in places. I look for places. I'm open to the bits where I need improving, and hello, spiritual union. But I don't focus on those bits. I focus on like the good the good bits. I focus on the good shit. It's okay. I made this video into 18 and up, and it's not for children. I've already, they're already preset to not be for children. So unless I was actually making a video for children, it would be different. I don't know. That could be something that someone would do, creating a channel for mindfulness for children. That would be a good idea. Don't know if that's meant for me, but could be meant for somebody. What other messages do you have, Holy Spirit? Hang on. I focus on the parts whenever I watch the replay. I focus on the parts where I'm cute and I'm funny and I'm sassy and I know it. Okay. Okay. Well, these ones I saw in the shuffle. Light. Connecting with your light, allowing your light to shine through, not dimming yourself for anyone. Connecting with the light, source energy, to be able to manifest your dreams and desires for the highest good of all involved. Don't dim yourself. And I know that I've done it in the past, so. I do want to do that, actually. Don't know if that's going to work. It might. So I am going to go do that. You're probably going to hear a kitty cat in the background telling me he wants his fish, and I'm going to tell him he doesn't got any fish. Calling in the fire energy. Oh yes, calling in the guardians of the 7 sacred directions. Calling in the guardians of the 7 sacred directions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so activating your light, living from the light. Manifesting from your heart chakra. Connecting with the divine source. I also feel universal energy, like energy of the universe in this. So like connecting with the universe and telling the universe what you want, focusing on what you want. And then imagining a target. Your imagination is your best kept secret. Your imagination is your superpower. I'm an air sign. It's one of my superpowers because I have such a I do have a very vivid imagination, but it helps me to manifest what I want. And so I've noticed that I'm like, oh, I want it, but childhood programming deprogrammed. Like focusing on what I need to do, focusing on my true life path, focusing on my soul mission. This is part of my soul mission. So I told you were gonna hear it. Are these all the ones? Ooh. If shadow comes out, I'm gonna be like, no, but universe did. When you go to a restaurant, you tell the waiter or waitress what you want. And then you also tell them, oh, I don't want, or you tell them, no tomatoes. I'm allergic to tomatoes. Thank God I'm not allergic to tomatoes. Giving you an example. So, and I love tomatoes. I love tomatoes. I don't even know what percentage of Italian I am, but I know I'm Italian because I've checked out my lineage. It's on both sides. It's, yeah. Hi. What's the matter? You know what? It's okay. Do you want me to go close the door? Yeah. Do you want me to go close the door? Oh, he's twitching a tail. Do you want me to go close the door? Do you want me to go close the door? Yeah. Okay, give me a moment. I have to cater to his kitty catness. All right, show me. You gonna flop? No, you're not gonna flop. Oh, telling me that the light was still on. Thank you so much, kitty cat. I don't know what I'd do without you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. He's telling me the kitchen light was still on and there's nobody in there. Okay, thank you for allowing me to do that. I closed the door, I turned off the light, be good. Okay, so you want to come up here? Come on, handsome. Come on, handsome. Oh, come here. Come on. You know they love seeing you. They do. They love to see you. They love to see you. Yeah, they do. Do you want the coconut? I got the coconut right here this time. Yeah, I do. I got the coconut. Oh, do you want the coconut too? Oh, look at that. He's happy. Oh, please tell me you can still hear me. Good. Okay. All right. I give them coconut to help with their hairballs, and it works. It's not petroleum product, so I don't like to give them petroleum product. Okay, back to this. All right. So connecting with the universe. Oh, restaurant. So, you'll tell the restaurant, the the waiter or the waitress, no onions, like, no, I want it like this. I want it without onions. I want it, da, 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 da. And then you allow them to go back there and place your order into the system. Nowadays, it's, almost instant whenever you go to the restaurant. I know Red Robin, like, they sit there and they put it in like on a wireless device, and they don't even have to go to the station anymore to be able to put it in. All they have to do is put it in, go and get the drinks, and then bring you your food whenever it's ready. Amazing. That's streamlined right there. So when you're placing your order with the universe, make sure that you're focusing on what you want. Focus on what you want. When you start to, part of the messages that were in the previous reading that didn't have any sound, that this one does, thank God. Part of the messages were, I just had it. Gotta get back in that vortex. I think it's this one. You cannot rid the world of things that bother you. You have got to rid your vibration of things that bother you. And when you rid your vibration of things that bother you, no things that bother you can come. But you cannot really rid anything from your vibration, because there is no exclusion in this attraction-based universe. The only way to stop attracting something that you don't want is by giving your attention to something that you do want. But you have to take small steps in it. What's the other one? It was about focusing on, instead of focusing on what you don't want, you shift your focus on what you do want. So when you have negative thoughts, you shift your negative thoughts into positive thoughts. And then that's how change happens. I think it was, when you pay attention to the way you feel and deliberately choose more thoughts that feel good while you think them, you will begin to recognize the nature of your broader, non-physical desires. The majority of negative emotions that you feel are not because the subject of your thought is wrong, but instead because you are condemning something that your source does not condemn. Your source is one of love, not one of condemnation. Yeah. God is love, not condemnation. Ego condemns. I need to reiterate on that message. All right. So working in harmony with the universe to basically attract the things that you want. Like living your life purpose, living your soul path, living your soul mission. Co-creating with the universe in order to bring those things to you. You don't have to worry about when or how it's going to happen, because the universe is so intelligent in that whenever you ask for it, all the little tumblers come into play. All the little tumblers are lined up, and all of the things that you need in order to facilitate that change, facilitate that business that you want to do, in order to write that book. Everything will come to you. I can tell you that if you are thinking about writing a book, I will give you some knowledge here. When I was in college, I went to Strayer University online for, 5 years, and I still haven't graduated. I ran out of funding. and I would have to do private loans. And unfortunately, I am not in the position to be able to do private loans. And then they want me to have a cosigner. And I'm like, I'm not asking any of my family to do this. No, thank you. I can do this by myself. They want like $1,200 a quarter out of me. And I'm like, I can fix this myself. Thank you. Anyway, I was going for my bachelor's in criminal justice administration, which means a lot of fucking writing. While I would love to be able to finish that degree, I don't believe that that is where my path is. And so I will take care of that debt whenever I take care of that debt. But I was having to do like 7 and 8 page papers. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to sit here and freaking type 7 and 8 pages worth. It was daunting. It was very overwhelming. But at the same time, like I was getting straight A's. I was on the president's list. I was on honor roll. I joined an honor society. I became eligible for the national. It's the NSCS, which is the National Society of Collegiate Scholars. I think it is. It's one of like the top ranking honor societies for colleges, and it's like only the top 15% get in there. So I worked my ass off. I'm a lifetime member of NSCS. I don't regret becoming a member either. It's yeah. The thing that helped me was Dragon software. Legit. Go to Target, go to Walmart. I don't care where you get it. Get the Bluetooth version. Don't get the version with the headphone and the microphone, because those thingies, like they start to hurt your ears. They hurt my ears. So if you can get the Bluetooth version for like, I think it's like $70. I got the one for like $40 because that was all I could afford at the time. Even with my school money, I was like trying to save some money. But get the one with the Bluetooth so that you can actually like, you record on your phone, and then you can edit, and then you can, send it to like OpenOffice. I use OpenOffice. I don't use Windows Office. So I'm more familiar with OpenOffice than I am with Windows Word. And I mean, I'm pretty familiar with Word, but like I can make tables, I can do all the things in that area. I don't believe that victims advocacy in the court system is where my path is anymore. That's not to say that I won't finish the degree. I'll finish the degree. I just don't believe that I'm meant to be in a courtroom all day, every day, listening to sexual assault cases anymore. I wanted to turn my pain into power, and I did that back in 2012. And I wanted to help others who had gone through this, and I wanted to make sure that nobody else went through this. And the fact is that I can't prevent that. But what I could do is I could help others in their story, like on their path to healing. That's why I was going to become a victim's advocate. Life is interesting whenever when you think that you're going to go down one path, then you're like, you know what? That it really isn't for me. I'm going to go down another way. And it's a lot of writing too, to be a victim's advocate in the court system. It's a lot of writing. And I'm not talking like a page or two. I'm talking like depositions. And, like if I were to be in the court system, I would definitely have my Dragon software, because all you do is, it's like talk to text. It's exactly like talk to text. And all you have to do is talk into the microphone about what you want. And then it'll put in the punctuation for you. So Dragon software, Bluetooth. You're welcome. Let's see here. So the next card is Spiritual Union. This isn't just an outer spiritual union. This is also inner. This is more inner because it starts with, from the inside, and then it happens on the outside. So if you're like me and you're like focusing on spiritual union with your twin flame, but you're also focusing on your coins and you're also focusing on your life, your soul mission and your life path and all of that stuff in the meantime, and you're focusing on your healing, and you're healing the hurt, and you're healing the connection, and you're healing the energies and vibrations that are within you that still hold pain, that still, I know that there are some things that I still need to release. I know that there are still some things that I need to heal within myself, because I can't heal him. That's not my job. My job is to heal myself so that he can heal himself, so that we can come together in harmony and in oneness. And until that happens, it ain't happening. So it's not just up to me, it's up to him too. And I can't force him. Like I can't drag him along with me. That's not my purpose. That's not my goal. That's not my mission. If, he wants to drag his feet, it's not up to me. That's a lesson he has to learn. And then me, I'm just going to keep on, like, I'll hold him in my prayers. I hold him in my prayers all the time. But to sit there and drag him along with me, that doesn't, no, thank you. So it gets exhausting. I'm not his parent. I'm not his mom. I'm twin flame. So when you start to deprogram yourself of all of the negative programming, all of the negative conditioning from childhood, whether it's this lifetime or past lifetimes, we also have to think about that. And that struck me in today's reading from earlier that had no audio, but that's okay because I remember that we also have to heal childhood wounds from past lives that haven't been healed. And it was like, oh my God, yes, past life childhood wounds. Oh my God, because, there's other things that'll come up. So that gets us into the Akashic records. That gets us into the Akashic records. There are several different meditations on YouTube that deal with Akashic records that have to do with like being able to meditate, Give me a minute here. Water. Throat chakra's out too. So it's like, I want to say something. You'll get your turn. Okay, getting back to this one. That spiritual union from within so that it can happen on the outside. Childhood wounds. Past life childhood wounds too. That was where I was at. So Akashic records talked about that. Several different meditations, like I said. Even if you have to do it over and over and over again. Because, one session, for me, there have been so many different meditations that I listen to and I watch. What is it, baby kids? That I listen to and I watch, and there's times like there's one that's about soul retrieval, and it's about 30 minutes long, and it's really quick, but it is effective AF. And it's a podcast that was collabed, and it's an amazing, I don't even remember the name. It's just soul retrieval. And then it has a woman with green, it's like mud on her face. And then she has like a plant in front of her and behind her. So she's like in the jungle. But it's an amazing meditation. It's about 30 minutes long. It's very, very short. It's very, very quick. It's short to the point. And she even tells you that you may have flu-like symptoms like within 6 months of doing the soul retrieval. But if you want to stay on it, you can do it. Like you can give yourself a break for like 3 days, 4 days, do it again. So sometimes you have to do meditations on a repeat basis to be able to get the full effect. It's not just a one and done. Sometimes. Not every time. But there's also different binaural beats. I listen to binaural beats channels. I actually am thinking about putting those subscriptions on this channel as well so that everyone will be able to benefit from the binaural beats that I listen to on a regular basis. So there's frequency healing, there's binaural beats, there's meditation. I listen to, but it's because it's because of the star system that I'm from, Arcturian sound healing. So I listen to Arcturian sound healing. There's not many starseed frequency channels out there. And I know that being said, that there's going to be a lot of really good ones coming out, especially since it's becoming more predominant, it's becoming more talked about, it's becoming more, I wouldn't say normalized, but more accepted. And we're in a beautiful age right now where we're going from the shadow into the light. We're in a huge just transitional shift, and it's beautiful if you stop and take a look at it. So like macro out and look at the transition that humanity is going through. Look at the transition that Earth is going through. Like there's a lot of people who are sick and tired of the global warming, sick and tired of the denying that it's happening, and sick and tired of the corporations like not taking accountability for what they're doing to our environment. You know, it's them. Like we didn't, we're not the ones sitting here going, oh yeah, by the way, I want you to put pesticides in the dirt. I want you to put pesticides in the water too, in the groundwater. We're not doing that. It's the corporations and the companies that are making these products that are doing that. That's their responsibility. They are responsible as a company to make sure that whatever product they are putting out is not harmful to the environment. It's eco-friendly. That's why you see a lot more companies who are becoming eco-friendly. This channel is carbon neutral. One reason why, I use Ecosia. Ecosia is, and I'm going to talk about this because I love this website. I love this app. I have it on my phone. ECOSIA. It's an extension that you put on your Google. It uses Google search, but you don't get all of the gossip about planting trees. So for every 40 searches that you put into your browser, every 40 searches for every 40 of them that you put in, they plant a tree for you. They've planted over 81 million trees. And I've been using it for like about a year. Excuse me. I started when they were at like 2 million trees. On my phone, I think I've got like 1,400 trees, or maybe 1,400 searches. It'll tell you how many trees that you plant. But then you can get t-shirts and you can support the movement even more by planting more trees, because the more trees that we plant, the more carbon we get out of our air. And it goes into the trees, and then we have more oxygen. So if you're looking for a way to be green without having to bend over backwards and have it be expensive, Ecosia. I freaking love them. They have a YouTube channel. Go on there, whenever you feel. I'd like for you to stay. But they do, and I'll be adding that subscription onto this channel as well so that you'll see. But this channel and my businesses like Callie's Earth Treasures and Photography and Mermaid Dreams and Starfish Facebook, they're both carbon neutral. Ecosia itself is now carbon neutral. Like the company itself is now carbon neutral. It's amazing. So there is some good. There is some light. You just got to find it. Wow, that's a lot, but still. Spiritual union. Masculine and feminine coming together, working in harmony with one another for the greater good, for the highest good of the collective. Spiritual growth. I love this card. It's such a heart healing energy. Spiritual growth is not, it's not pretty. It's not all, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's not something that you take lightly. It's not something that you just kind of go half-assed into. It's either all or nothing. There are a lot of people who, you know, they're comfortable where they're at, and that's fine. And I have no judgments. Me, myself personally, I have shifted so much that I don't even like to look at pictures of myself in the past. I'm like, oh my God, that was like 5 years ago. Look at where I'm at. Look at where I'm at. So it's subtle sometimes. Like, you know, when you're experiencing it yourself, when you're so close to it, you can't see it. But whenever you macro out and you look at the bigger picture, you're like, oh yeah, that's where I'm supposed to go. Or if you look at, you know, like your growth, you know, where you want to be, where God wants you, where source wants you, that's a difference. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. The movie that I'm thinking of is Evan Almighty. I have both of them. So I have Bruce Almighty and Evan Almighty. Evan Almighty is my favorite, my son's favorite as well. And every time, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, at the end, God turns into a dove and then he flies away. But my son cries every single time when he turns into a dove and then flies away. And I don't chastise him. I don't tease him. I don't sit there and tell him to stop crying. I tell him it's okay. It's all right. It's a movie. It's all right. But I don't want to tell him that it's not real. I want him to figure that out. I want him to figure out that it is real. So, spiritual growth. I want him to make his own decisions. But I do insist on the plant medicine and the sound healing and the gemstones, because he loves rocks. He has a ton of rocks in his room. I have more. I have so much. I have my labradorite here, which I think has golden or silver sheen obsidian on the back, because black tourmaline doesn't shimmer. Black tourmaline doesn't shimmer like that. You see that? Black tourmaline doesn't do that. So that is probably silver sheen obsidian, which I'm going to go take this in here or in my room later on, and I'm going to meditate on that. I love meditating with my crystals. So I'll sit there and I'll connect to them and I'll ask them what messages they have for me. But black tourmaline does not do that. That's got to be silver sheen, because it's silver, and golden sheen would be this one in the background right here. This is golden sheen obsidian. This clears the aura, seals any holes in the aura. Spiritual strength, yeah. I was reading it wrong, but spiritual growth too. Being strong in your convictions about your individual spiritual strength. Like not allowing outside influence to deter you from what you actually need to be doing, where you need to be. But that movie, Evan Almighty, there's a line in there, because this is the one where God asks Evan to basically build him an ark. So he's like Noah. It's one of my favorite movies. It's such a really good movie. But Evan is fighting with God, who's played by Morgan Freeman. And, he's like, but this isn't part of my plans. And then all you see is, God, who is played by Morgan Freeman, just laughing hysterically. He's like, your plans, like your plan. That's not, that doesn't matter. My plans are what matter. So when I say spiritual strength or spiritual growth, I still think the spiritual growth has meaning. So even though I kept saying it, I'm still like, there's a reason why I was saying it. Spiritual growth to have spiritual strength. Gain spiritual strength. When you find that you're losing faith, in some, who do you turn to? Do you turn to the light? What do you turn to? Do you turn to your Bible? I have my Bible right over there on the shelf. Do you turn to positive affirmations? I used to have like 10 minutes worth of positive affirmations every day. I had a phone and I sold it because I needed the money. I needed the gas money. Actually, I needed the money to eat. It was for, and I had all of these positive affirmations. They were just pictures that I had gotten off of. There we are. Okay. Positive affirmations that took me about 5 to 10 minutes to say every day. I would do chakra affirmations. I would do mudras. I would do the mudras. It was part of my daily routine. It was part of my daily routine. And then life happened, and then I stopped doing them. But it didn't mean that I didn't really lose faith. I just saw it for what it was, that thing, that life happened. I macroed out and saw it for what it was. And I was like, all that is perspective and future regret and a whole bunch of future guilt. And I can't do anything about it. Like there's nothing I can do about it. I can't be the life preserver in that situation. But what I did do was I lost myself a little bit, and then I found myself again. I brought myself back to where I needed to be. So that's some spiritual strength. So, in life, sometimes we fumble and we may be knocked down, but it's about how you get up, how you get back up and get back into the swing of things is what really counts. Next one is throat chakra. And I'm having like, I'm like, ooh. Okay. Oh, I love that song. I will be doing that later on a later date. Okay, so throat chakra. I'm being guided to record a cover song and post it in a private group that I'm a part of. And I will do it. I will probably do it after I record this because it's in my head and it's like I got to do it. But I want to have the words to where I can see them so that it's not quite like karaoke, but it's like I'll be able to follow along and make sure that I have the lyrics correct and everything. And I don't own the rights to the song. It's a cover song. So throat chakra. So defeat and conflict. Some didn't turn out the way you expected it, and that's totally okay. Where did you manifest it not working out? Because I know that I've seen the things that I'm like, oh, I would see something and then I'd be like, no, that's not really the way I want it to happen. But see, I can't really control that. But the universe is only responding to me saying, no, I don't want it like that. I can't be mad at the universe. I can't be angry at the other person. It has nothing to do with them. It has to do with my vibe and what my vibe was at the time that I had that vision. Whenever I saw that vision, I'm like, that's not really what I'm here for. So in a way, I'm actually really fucking grateful that it didn't work out the way that I thought that it would, or that I saw that it would, because honestly, I wouldn't be fucking happy. I'm happier now. Even though it didn't work out the way I expected it, the way that I saw that it would, I am so fucking grateful it didn't turn out that way in that moment, like I saw that it was gonna happen. I'm grateful. You have no idea how fucking grateful I am for that. Because then all this does, it points you in the correct direction. It's a redirect to a higher vibration. Doesn't mean that thing is not meant for you. It just means that there's something else. There's infinite possibilities. Focus on the highest possible outcome for all involved. Align yourself with it. Excuse me. Have your conversation with God. Have your conversations with your spirit guides, with your guardian angels, with your divine support team. That's what they're there for. They're waiting for you to have those conversations in meditation. I know I haven't in a while. I started to last night. And then I realized there was times where I would just be stuck in meditation all day. And I'm like, this is not my purpose. I can meditate for 15, 20 minutes, but I don't want to be stuck in this meditative energy for somebody else. No, fuck that noise. I have shit I have to do. They have shit that they have to do. So yes, meditate, but don't stay there because of lack. Because you're lacking something. Don't do that. That doesn't help anybody. Bills got to be paid. House has to be clean. Animals have to be taken care of. I have 4 cats. 2 are mine. 2 are my son's. Do they hang around him? No. Who do they hang around? I go to my room. I am surrounded by cats. I have 4 cats on my bed. Momo is my cat. She is adorable and I love her. She's very minxy. She's very minxy and very flirty. She's very sweet. Freckles, I think we share custody. I think we share custody of Freckles. She's a tortoiseshell calico. I love her. I love her to bits. She is that's my mama. Like, she is the mom. Like, she is teaching me how to reparent myself. Along with my kiddo. He teaches me how to reparent myself too. But she teaches me big time. She is a huge teacher in my life, and I love her so much for it. So destiny. Here's the thing about destiny. The things that are destined for you will always come to you. So you don't have to fear about it not happening. I'm never going to tell you if you're going through a twin flame journey, if you are experiencing ascension with your twin flame, if you are just starting on your journey, what is the biggest thing that I can tell you? First of all, I love you when I see you. It's the biggest thing, is that I love you and I see you. And I will tell you that it gets better when you decide and when you understand that denying your twin flame is denying yourself. Because the way that it was shown to me in meditation was I saw God's hands. They were these big, burly hands, but they were so gentle. Iron fist and a velvet glove. Although he didn't have gloves on. And I saw him take these little seeds of light, and I saw him just gently, like he took a knife or like an axe. It was mainly an axe, like a small axe. And he started to split it so that it wasn't going to be done, like it wasn't going to be torn apart. But he just started the slice, and then he tore them apart. And a seed of light that was split into two pieces. And then you see, I saw dirt. I saw earth, as in like soil. And he took one and he put it over here, and he took the other one and he put it over there. And then they went to the ground. It was like they were seedlings, and they were just growing in the earth. That was how it was explained to me in meditation. What's destined for you will always find you. There are some people out there who your twin flame is only here. You know, sometimes the twin flame is, you're not meant to be together with your twin flame. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. Me personally, I think that's a bunch of bullshit. When it comes to twin flames, I think it is an individual case-by-case basis. I don't think anybody has the right to tell you that your twin flame is not meant to come together with you in this lifetime. I don't think anybody has that fucking power. So take that power back. Don't listen to that stuff. Don't listen to that shit. Go within, and you have your answer. But I don't subscribe to that whole, twin flames are only here on the fifth dimension, or 5D on up and 9D on up. And I don't subscribe to that. I think that there are many names for the same thing. But I do not subscribe to the whole, your twin flame is not meant to be with you this lifetime in the physical. I don't subscribe to it. I don't feel like it doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't resonate. So you have to pressure test it. You have to see if it's actually meant for you. And that goes with asking yourself the questions, having that conversation with yourself. Don't let your ego take over. I speak from experience. Don't let your ego take over. Don't let your ego sabotage your happiness just because you're in pain. Because it hasn't happened yet. Or you're going through whatever you're going through. Don't let your ego sabotage it. Don't let your ego sabotage the connection. Don't let your ego sabotage your destiny. Don't let your ego sabotage your soul path. It's there to keep you safe. in dangerous situations. I don't know about you, but I'm not in a need where, in a situation where I need to, fight or flight. So destiny. One of the archangels, I don't know the archangel for destiny, but I can give you guidance on clarity. Archangel Uriel, or Uriel, however you want to say it, is the archangel of clarity. So if you need clarity in a situation, you can call upon him or her. I see both. But ask for clarity. Danu actually helps with clarity. Goddess Danu helps with clarity. So there's times where I'm like, I need clarity on this. Can you please help me? And I want the true. And she'll never bullshit you. She won't bullshit you. But you can have those conversations with God and say, I need clarity. But if you don't want to accept that clarity, when it's like, yeah, this is it. This is meant for you. Well, but it hasn't happened. Yeah, but that's because it's not time for it to happen. You don't want to take the bread out of the oven before it's done. You don't want to take the food out of the oven before it's been fully cooked. Timing is of the essence here, and timing is important here. And it doesn't happen on your time, it happens on the divine time. That's why it's called divine timing. Believe me, I've struggled to be okay with it. My inner child, my wounded inner child was like, but I want it now. But it's not meant for you right now. It's meant for you, but not right now, because you still have work that you have to do in healing yourself. Like that whole I want it now. It's like a mini Veruca Salt moment. But I don't go all the way with the I want it now. Don't do that. Intuition. Connect with your intuition in any situation that you are faced with. Use your intuition wisely to discern which way you should go or need to go. That is going to be for the highest good of all involved. Based on love, out of love. Because your intuition is your inner compass. That's your inner GPS that doesn't tell you to go the wrong way whenever you should be going another way. That's whenever you're not listening to your intuition. There's been times where I've told myself, I'm like, my GPS, not my inner intuition, but my GPS needs, she'll tell me to go this way. And I'm like, I can't go that way. That's GPS for you. It just needs to be updated. Patience goes along with divine timing. Sometimes whenever and I'm a pretty patient person. I pride myself on being a really fucking patient person. Really fucking patient. I'll find myself in a situation with a cashier who is like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I'm a patient person. You just do whatever you need to do. And I sit back and I just wait, and then it'll come to me. They're like, thank you so much for your patience. I'm like, I am a patient person. I am an extremely patient person. And then I have my limits. But I think that that's a little bit of ego too. I have to do it. I have to have my limits set out of self-love and self-respect. So when I have set up a boundary with someone because my patience is wearing thin, it's not because I'm pissed off and I just don't want to deal with it. It's like, I've already dealt with this before. I'm putting up this boundary because I can no longer take it. I have more self-respect and I have more self-love than to go through that bullshit again. But if you want to keep continuing going on the hamster wheel, you go right on ahead and I'll be over here doing what I do. I send you love and I pray for you, but I gotta move. I can't take it. So patience. Making sure that you are in your heart chakra about it. Not allowing your ego to take over. Not allowing your ego to sabotage your happiness, your birthright, your divine birthright. Here's the thing. in my belief, and you don't have to believe this, but in my belief, I believe that everyone has a twin flame. But I do believe that twin flames are here for the ascension of the planet. I also believe that there are certain people who just they're comfortable where they're at and they don't really want to get out of whatever they're in because it's comfortable. And that's fine. That's their choice, that's their prerogative, that's their path. And so I can't sit here on my path going, you're doing it wrong. I can't do that because I don't have that power. I don't want that power. I don't want that power. All I can do is give you the messages and tell you based on my experience what worked for me. And then you can go off of that and see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, I know that you'll find what works for you. Moving on. Closing out old cycles, no longer staying in energies that no longer serve. Taking the road less traveled, but having faith that everything is covered. Like the universe has your back. Like in this, the universe has my back. I've already put up my intention of what I want. And so I'm just, all right, it's up to you, universe. I'm just sitting back. And I'm just going to continue doing what I do. But I'm allowing the universe to do its job. Focusing on your true north. Like that inner compass within you, your true north. My north node. So I will talk a little bit about my birth chart. My birth chart is very unique. It's one of the rarest, is what I was told from it's the book that I have, the only astrology book you'll ever need. It's a bowl. So most of my planets and most of my planets and my placements are in one section. I don't have hardly anything past the sixth house. Like I have the planets, like the zodiacs, in the different houses, but like the planetary placements, it's like between 1 and 5, the first and fifth houses. So I don't have anything in my 8th house. I don't have anything in my 9th house. There's nothing there. But my north node is in Leo. So my sun sign is Libra. So I'm a Libra. That's at the soul level. It's, my moon sign, which is my emotions, is Virgo. And then I'll sit there, I'm like, well, that's my Virgo moon coming out. So I recognize what parts of me are what. My rising sign, which is how I present myself to the world, is Leo. The maiden with the lion. Leo is also my soul path and my life path, as well as my north node. So that's a lot of fire energy right there. A lot of fire energy. My Venus is in Virgo. My Mercury and my Mars is how I communicate. Mars is how I fight. It's in Scorpio. Very watery. Legit is. So when I sit here and I'm I'm not on task, when I'm not in my North Node, I know whenever I'm not on task, whenever I'm not doing this, or whenever I'm not doing the thing that I need to be doing. Leo North Node. So I make sure that I'm on task and I'm not doing South Node, which is past life stuff. My Eastern astrology, which is Vedic astrology, is way different, but it's the same. So my sun and my moon are both Virgo. My rising is Cancer, Cancerian, which is the little crab. And I was raised by a Cancerian, and I had the opposite end of the spectrum. You know, Cancerians are typically nurturing and comforting and mothering. I got the opposite end of that because she went through trauma in her childhood, and it kind of spilled over into my childhood. So I've been breaking cycles. I've been breaking cycles of violence, breaking cycles of abuse, breaking cycles of just breaking cycles. You know, I've been doing a lot of genealogy search. Like I didn't up until last summer. Seriously, up until last summer, my half sisters from my dad's first marriage found me on Facebook on Labor Day. Was it Labor Day weekend? And we talked for 12 hours. 12 hours. I had not seen them. I hadn't seen my oldest sister since I was like a baby and she was a teenager. My second sister from that marriage, I hadn't seen her since I was like 5. So last year was the best thing that ever happened to me because I told them, I was like, I want to do our genealogy. They're like, oh, we've got you covered. We did our genealogy with our mom. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? No, they did the genealogy because we share the same dad. We don't share the same mom. But the Emperor on the bottom of the deck. He's been coming out a lot lately. Not just with me, but with other readers. I've been seeing him. I'm like, oh, there you are. I was able to do genealogy. This is the Shadowscapes Tarot. I was able to do my genealogy. I was able to put in my information. I don't subscribe to Ancestry.com because I don't have $100 a month extra to be able to do that. That money is going elsewhere for self-care. But I am on FamilySearch.org, which is free, and it's maintained by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So anyway, they found me. I was able to get my dad's side of the family, and I was doing energy healing and ancestral healing on my dad's side of the family, on his mom and his dad, and both of them. Here recently, this was amazing. This was like destiny and fate mixed into one. I was able to contact living relatives and ask them for names of my mom's parents, her birth parents. But I needed years. I needed the years that they were born. I needed definitive dates because there's a lot of people who have the same name, and I wanted to be on the correct family tree so that I could, know where I really come from. I was able to, the first of the year, it was literally the first of the year, I found a distant cousin. I think we're like second or third cousins or something like that. But I found a family member on my dad's side that I didn't even know of. I didn't even know. She contacted me, and I think I contacted her because normally it's only family members who have the information that can put it on there. But it was quite amazing. So I was able to, it was the new year, and I I started talking to a family member, and she's really into the genealogy as well. She's really into the genealogy. She's over on Ancestry. But I was able to contact a living relative. I was able to put it in our one of our family groups, and was explaining that what I'm doing. I'm trying to do ancestral healing. I'm trying to find my mom's parents so that I can do ancestral healing, because I don't want to carry this crap around anymore. There's when you have diseases that run in the family, you can heal it. You can totally heal it. You can be the one that says, not me. It stops with me. It stops with me. So I was able to do that the first of this year, and I was so grateful for it, because I didn't have anything on her family genealogy. She didn't know. She didn't care to know. And growing up, I mean, up until last year, I knew nothing about my family tree on both sides. So, okay. What other messages do you have for us? January 20. Highest good of the collective. That's a mini reading. Okay, I'll take that. The Sun, Three of Wands, King of Swords. I got this earlier in the... Oh, I almost thought I had a match. Queen of Wands underneath the Three of Wands, King of Swords, and Four of Wands. So I like to do it like that so you can see all of them. The Sun, Queen of Wands, Three of Wands, King of Swords, Four of Wands. So stability, truth, waiting on a return. That could be the Three of Wands, waiting on a tax return. I haven't done my taxes yet. I don't have the things. Queen of Wands, passion, and I love harps. I would love to learn how to play the harp. I would love to learn how to play the harp. I love the harp. It's such a beautiful instrument. It's so high vibrational. I mean, what do you think of whenever you think of harps? You think of, angels, with the little mini harps strumming in heaven, because it's frequency healing. The Sun, truth. Look at the truth of the matter. Okay. Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment. Eight of Cups is going on to a better place, like moving on to a better. Queen of Pentacles. Solid. Solid as a rock. I don't own the rights to the song. That's what this love is. Six of Wands. Six of Swords is moving on to better water. Six of Wands is victory, because he has the wreath, the olive wreath right there. Well, the spiral. This is why I bought this. The spiral. You know, the journey is not linear. The journey, well, maybe you should journal. Maybe I should journal too. The journey is cyclical. And sometimes you come back to the same lesson to see if you learned it. So when you find yourself going through a cycle and you notice that it's a cycle, like if you can see the cycle in front of you, like it's in your face, and I've actually experienced that. Ask yourself, what is this cycle trying to teach me? And how do I stop it from occurring again? Are you okay? Okay. How can I stop it from occurring again? Sometimes it's in your thinking. Sometimes, instead of thinking that negative thought, oh, it's going to happen again, think about, no, it's not going to happen again. Lesson learned. They learned their lesson. They're coming into alignment. So think positive. So if you notice your negative thoughts, that is the opening of the door to be able to show you how you can shift your thoughts from negative to positive. It's the Hermetic principles. There's a negative and there's a positive and there's a negative to everything. So connecting with the light. If you don't know what the Hermetic principles are, you can go down that rabbit hole on your own time. But it is from Hermes Trismegistus, also known as Thoth, who is the Egyptian god of communication and writing, who is also, he was a priest in Atlantis. Yeah, I went there. But this is like, it comes around again. So make sure that you're looking, and life is cyclical. Birth, death, rebirth, all of that. And it's not just physical death. I'm talking about like egoic death. Oh my God. Oh, here's the magician. You possess all the tools that you need in order to get through whatever situation you are faced with, whether you manifested it or not. There are so many times whenever I'm like, yeah, I'm talking to myself too. Why do I have Bohemian Rhapsody in my head? I don't know. Okay, so these are the Angel Tarot by Doreen Virtue and Radley Devine. The Hermit. Spend time in quiet meditation. We were talking about meditation earlier. Spiritual teaching and self-discovery. I'm talking about that a little bit. So touching on that, letting me know that I'm in tune with my intuition. I do have some heart chakra. Now Solid as a Rock is back in my head. I'm an 80s child. I know all the good stuff. I was raised on good music, so I was raised on Motown. And then I would listen to my own, the music from the 80s and the 90s. Archangel Zadkiel, Balance. So this is the Justice card in the traditional Rider-Waite. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise, wait for perfect timing. It's also the it's not the balance, or it's not the Justice card. This is Temperance. in the traditional tarot because of the two. Where'd you go? I know I put you somewhere. Because of the 2 cups, because this is alchemy, mixing 2 different vessels, the contents of two different vessels together. One is upside down, one is right side up. It's almost like gravity has no effect. So it's alchemy. Grew up on Motown, grew up on Diana Ross and the Supremes, grew up on Aretha, grew up on, oh my God, the REO Speedwagon. I used to dislike REO Speedwagon because of how many times it was on replay. And it was on blast. Like my mom would turn it up to like full blast. But I definitely have a better appreciation for REO right now. Oh God, Rod Stewart. Still love me some Rod Stewart. Ain't gonna lie. Still love the man. What else? My sisters were very much into AC/DC. I was into Twisted Sister when I was 5. I loved Dee Snider. I still love Dee Snider. Are you kidding me? My love for that man has never changed. 5 years old and I was rocking to We're Not Gonna Take It. Screaming it at the top of my lungs. We're not gonna take it! Again, I don't own the rights to that song either. Alrighty. So I'm referencing a song. It's because of the vast library, the audio file that I am. And I'm a bit of a bibliophile. Not too big, but you know. And movie file. Oh my God, do I love movies. Love movies. It was like my jam as a kid. Watch movies. Okay. I was wondering, last deck in the Shadowscapes, when we got 9 of water, or 9 of cups, I was like, well, 10 of cups is, you know, wish fulfilled. That's like the ultimate happiness. It's like the 10 of cups. It's the 10 of cups and the, you know, 10 of pentacles is, you know, 10 of pentacles is, you know, abundance in, you know, all forms. Being open to abundance of all forms, being open to love in all forms, being open to the blessings that you have that are in store for you, unblocking yourself from your blessings. What else is there? Being open to receive the blessings that are meant for you. Oh, damn, that one's really straight to it. What illusions do you see yourself in? An illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. Why are you afraid of receiving the blessings that you have in store for you that are actually your God-given right? Look back, go within, look back. Where did you put that block up? Why did you put that there? Why did you feel like you weren't worthy of that blessing? What transpired at that time that's not transpiring now that makes you think that you are not worthy of your own blessings, of the things that you were born to have? I know I have to look at my own. And believe me, I'm getting out of the illusion. I've gotten out of it for the most part. There's certain things that come up, like it'll be a certain situation that comes up, and I'll sit there and be like, okay. And then I have to, well, I did it with that, so why can't I do it with this? All right, so the first card we have is the Ten of Water. Thanks for hanging out with me, by the way. Appreciate it. Ten of Water. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs met. Trustworthy relationships. Okay, so what illusions are you trapping yourself in? Again, go back, go within, do some inner child healing. There was something that I did the other night. I meditated with my inner child, and I gave her a hug, and I sent her love, because it needs to happen on a regular basis, not just whenever I, oh, I need to do that. I sat there and, I meditated, and I gave her a hug, and I held her, and I put my arm around her, and I said, everything's all right. I got this, you don't have to worry about this, this, and this. And I see you, and I saw you then, and I see you now. And there's nothing for you to be afraid of right now. None of that is happening anymore. None of the bad stuff is happening anymore. And don't listen to all that negativity, because they're wrong. I had to look at the things that I was being punished for, that as an adult I would look at and be like, what the fuck is going on with this shit? Why the fuck would you punish a child for that? And then I had to macro out and be like, oh, that has everything to do with that person and nothing to do with me. And so I had to forgive the situation. So I called in, I made a circle. I called in my spirit guides. I called in my healing guides. I called in my, I called in Danu, because she is my patron goddess. You can always look up who your patron goddess is. I don't know what specific sites there are, but I do know that you can find your patron goddess. Normally it's like what goddess resonates with you. Most times it's what goddess is part of the culture, the pre-Christian culture from where your family originates, your maiden name. My maiden name is Irish. Well, it's not actually Irish, but it's Owens. And so it's Irish, it's Celtic. And I've only traced back so far, and I know that there is more to be found in that lineage. Because it's like all of a sudden he shows up in like 1700s. I don't even have his parents. And so I have to go and do overseas genealogy. It's fun. I remember I was doing genealogy. I was just looking at my lineage and just going, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? For 8 hours straight. 8 hours straight. But getting out of that illusion of, oh, you're not worthy of that, from outside influence. What do they know that you don't know within you? What do they know? Bless them for putting you in the right direction. But what do they know about what you deserve that you don't know? What power do they have? And if you gave them power, not meaning to, take it back. It is time for you to take back your power. It is time for you to take back your sovereignty. It is time for you to take back your call back all of your energy, and then send any energies that are not yours back to their origin. You'll like that. I know I do. So this is Page of Earth. Scholarly, dependable, patient, successful. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. I have 3 certificates that I have yet to finish. They are holistic home remedies, personal training, as in like my accredited personal training where I could go anywhere and get a part-time job and be a personal trainer. And then dietitian and nutritionist. With Soul Shift, because I'm in Soul Shift this year for the 2nd year in a row, I will have Reiki 1 and 2. I need to buy August, which that'll happen this week. By August, and then purchase my certificate. And then the end of this year, I will have 4 certificates: Reiki 2 and 3, Crystal Masters, and Pillars of Priestessing. So I'm training to be a priestess. And then I will, this is a mini reading. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me? Yes, no? It says you can hear me. But the High Priestess, I was just talking about her. The priestess. Training to be a priestess. All right, so the next card out is skilled work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic, going back to school, 8 of Earth. I also want to become a yoga instructor, certified yoga instructor. I like to be able to have my choice of what, I'm a Callie of all trades, okay? I like to do different things. I like to work with my hands. I like stone carving, but I also like to be able to get out and do things, and help. 9 of Fire. So don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. I know this is screaming at me. It's like, yoo-hoo, you too. The High Priestess, Archangel Haniel. Listen to your intuition. Have patience. Consider carefully what you want before acting. So if you're finding that you're having that negative tape that, people will tell you, in the past, and it's just on repeat, I see you, and I've been there, and I got out of it. So the reason why I say that is because I was told I didn't think as a child. You don't think. You know what? You don't think. Because sometimes I would act before I did think. But, there's a gentler way to, deliver that message. Consider carefully what you want before acting. That is a much more loving way of saying you don't think. So when I hear that tape, I'm like, psh, delete. Nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing to do with me. 10 of Air. This is typically the 10 of Swords in the traditional Rider-Waite. 10 of Swords is like that thing is not gonna come back. And it's okay, because then there's something better. There's a rebirth on the end of that, on the other side of it. And normally it's something better. So the end of a difficult situation, embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Recovering from an addiction. I love Palominos. I actually had a Palomino Mustang when I was a teenager. And her name was Casey. She was so sweet. Oh, that's a Appaloosa Palomino. And then there's the Pinto in there too. See the Pinto? She's an Appaloosa. I love Appaloosas. My favorite are Buckskins. Love Buckskins. But I do love the Appaloosa. I love horses in general. They are so... We had a... Oh my God, this was such a cool story. So I was 16 years old, and my mom decided to buy a horse. She wanted a horse, and I was like, all right, well, we're getting a horse. Her name was Apache's Leo Bar. She was a broodmare for the Leo Bar race line of thoroughbred horses. She was sold to someone who didn't take very good care of her, and I won't go into details about it, but I will say that we found her in, my mom says that she found her in unsafe conditions, and so they decided to buy her. And she would jump. You sneezed, and she would jump. She was afraid of plastic bags. That horse could walk through a field of rattlesnakes, not bat an eye. And I around me as I was riding on her, and I could hear them. I'm like, oh dear God, I can hear it. And I'm like, just be calm, because she's got this. I trust her. She's not going to get bit. She's not going to get struck. And she just walked calmly away. And the rattlesnake just went off into the distance. She threw me because the strap for her bridle was broken. So her bit was just hanging in her mouth. There was nothing to attach it to. So it was hanging on her head, and it was just going to slide off of her head. She threw me. I'm okay with it. I didn't know at the time what had happened. But I forgave her because it wasn't her fault. She was already saddled. Everything was on her. I wasn't told that the chin strap was broken because it goes underneath the neck right here, the neck strap. I wasn't told about it. So basically it started falling off of her head, and the bit started slipping out of her mouth. And then she went down and grabbed the bit to be able to hold on to the bit. And she threw me, and I went in the air, and I landed and twisted my ankle and get back up on there. And I'm like, no, not right now. Get back up on that horse. No. I'd rather go to the hospital. No, you're not going to the hospital. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to get back on that horse. I was a feisty shit whenever I was a teenager, but I had good cause. I was literally putting up boundaries. So we got this one earlier, the 9 of Cups earlier. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. A love of life. So this just reinforces the card from earlier. 8 of Earths. Oh, wait. I already read this one. Moving on. The World. Archangel Michael. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude, a path toward enlightenment. So that goes back to the Psychic Tarot with the spiritual strength, because that brings you to the path of enlightenment. I guess what I was trying to get out earlier with the whole spiritual strength is that the path to enlightenment is not all glitz and glam and beautiful and perfect. And, it's not like that. Perfection is an illusion, really. There is no such thing as perfect. The only thing that's perfect is our imperfections. And God has made us that way so that we have diversity. And in his eyes, we're perfect. 3 of Earth. The power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. Yeah, I loved Me My Patches. I loved her so much. But, we got her to where she wasn't so traumatized. We were able to write her. That was awesome. I was never mad at her after she threw me. I wasn't even mad at her. I've even forgiven the situation. So putting in love, peace, and understanding into a situation really, really helps. Just flooding it with love, peace, and understanding. Even when people have ill intent. Last one, life experience, Archangel Chamuel. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change, time to spread your wings. And with Casey, we got her off of the reservation land project out in Arizona. And so she was a Mustang, as in had never been ridden. As in never had a saddle, never seen a bridle, never seen a bit. And she was gentled. She wasn't broken, she was gentled. Okay, so I'm going to pull one from Archangel Michael and one from Archangel Raphael. And then I'm going to pull a couple from the lovers, and then I'm going to call this it because I'm getting hungry and I need me some food. Lean on God and the angels for support. Definitely. Ask Archangel Michael to help you in this situation. Definitely. I was able to, in that situation when she threw me, I was able to stand up for myself very strongly. Very strongly. And looking back at it now, I did enough. I did what I could. I don't beat myself up for the things that I should have done in my childhood anymore. I used to. Old, outdated, don't do anymore. Romance angels are helping you. I don't any past mistakes, I don't sit there, I apologize to myself for it. Yes. And then what I do is I admit that I made a mistake, and then, I reconcile it within myself, and then I reconcile it with the other party, even if they're not there. So what I do before bed is I call in my my guardian angel, and I give my higher self permission when I go to sleep. So I'm not doing it right now. But I give my higher self permission to reconcile anything that needs to be reconciled on my behalf while I sleep. And then I wake up feeling really, really good the next morning, because it's been lifted and it's been transmuted. But I'm a fast learner, so I try not to make the same mistake twice. And if I do, then I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I making the same mistake twice? Like, what do I need to learn here? There's 2 right there. Oh, I was just going to pull one. I can't help it. I love doing readings. I really enjoy doing this. And there's that. And I'm caught in my tassels. There we go. Have confidence. Archangel Michael, please lend me your courage and fortitude. Help me realize that I am one with all that is divine. Wisdom, strength, love, creativity, abundance, and health. Allow me to feel confident and peaceful about myself in all ways. You and your loved ones are safe.
What? It's cocktail.
Dear Archangel, or dear God and Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over me and my loved ones, and then fill in the blank, name specific individuals. Please help me feel secure and at peace, and fill me with faith that I may focus on my priorities and enjoy a healthful, happy life. A favorable outcome. Thank you for the beautiful outcome of this situation, or to the situation, which is perfect and fair for everyone involved. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me trust and have faith. Okay, and then this is your life's purpose. Archangel Michael, you know the details of my divine life purpose, and I ask you to help me be aligned with my goals. Please clearly guide my actions so that I'm taking the best steps to fully manifest my wonderful and meaningful career. And I know that that's speaking to me too, so I am fully aware of that. Thank you. Okay. Archangel Raphael. Okay, that's good, dude.
Hold on, Mommy.
Okay.
Bless you.
Oh, bless you. Okay, that's enough soap. You don't want too much soap. Exercise is key. And hydration, which we got earlier. Thanks, kiddo. I was talking about earlier before I realized that the sound was out, and I don't know why, and I don't care. It sounds on right now. I actually go to the gym and want to sweat. I'm like, I'm here to sweat. I'm here to work out. I don't have any makeup on. I have very little jewelry on. It's not very productive in, working out and all of this. I've been at this all day, but that's okay. So Archangel Raphael, what messages do you have for us today, January 20th, 2020? I think people need to get out of the misconception that 2020 is supposed to be all sunshine and rainbows right now. We're going through an ascension. We're going through a process, and that takes time. And on the other side of that is the sunshine and rainbows. A lot of growth. A lot of ascension energy. It's like we're getting into the vibration of where we need to be as a collective, as a species, because we recognize that we're destroying our home. A lot of people are sick of it. And so a lot of people, those people are doing things about it. Yes. Don't get in the fear mindset. Don't buy into all the fear and all of that. Don't buy into the. I mean, I watch Newsy, so I really don't watch CNN, and I used to. I don't watch MSNBC anymore. I used to. I'll watch ABC. That's all right, but I still watch Newsy. But I don't subscribe to the whole fear, doom, and gloom. I don't. I really, really don't. I see. Sometimes I have to say that my ego does get in the way, especially whenever I'm watching about the current news. Good night sleep is on the bottom of the deck. So, dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me relax and sleep deeply, for I know that you are guiding, healing, and protecting me while I rest. So that's another thing that I do is I'll call in Archangel Raphael and Archangel Michael to be able to protect me while I sleep, even though I know I'm good. Oh, there's two right here. Sobriety. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, thank you for adjusting my cravings in healthful directions so that I only desire life-affirming foods and beverages. Like, my addiction was food. I'm a foodie. I like to eat food. Yeah, I'll have a salad every now and then. I'll go to the food bank and I'll get a salad, like a salad kit. Is it my go-to meal every single day? Abso-fucking-lutely not. There are times whenever I want that fucking burger. Not so much the fries, but I want the cheeseburger. Because I want to be able to have the good stuff. So whenever I swapped, I mean, I could probably still have Sonic, just not on a regular occasion like I was. And I was gaining weight from it. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. We're not doing this again. Come on, Callie Leanne, let's go. Let's get out of this. And that's what I did. I talked to myself. I'm like, come on, we got to get out of this. And then miso happened. And I'm like, oh, we're doing it. It is on. And every time I go there, that is like self-love, self-care, and all the things. That is like I am giving myself a hug and a high five and a bitch, you got this in the same thing, because I have to have my kimchi on my miso. Have to have it. If you've never had kimchi, it's spicy. The summer is spicy. The winter one is mild. But kimchi, so good. It's so good for you. It has so many good, like, medicinal, like, antioxidants, look it up. Look it up. Look up the healing benefits or the health benefits of kimchi. But it's making my mouth water, and I want me some miso right now. Okay. Prayer works. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, thank you for hearing and answering my prayers of, and then fill in the blank. Little mini reader right there. I saw this in the pre-shuffle. Yes. Dear Archangel Raphael, please help me trust my feelings as the accurate barometer of truth. Which means that my family tree is accurate AF. But it's good to know that I'm not the only one going through it. So, just saying. Stay positive. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me be optimistic and take the appropriate action steps that support my health. Earlier, when I was shuffling this deck, I feel like diet is important here. And then I pulled that freaking card. And if it comes out again, I'm going to be like, what? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Whew, thank you. Grateful for that because I had no audio on that. And it was like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours of no audio. Okay, relationship. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for healing and guiding all of my relationships upon the path of love. Have faith. Should I say it? Should I leave it alone? Is it worth the argument? Jesus was not white. But I still love her all the same. I still love Doreen Virtue all the same. Jesus was Middle Eastern, which means that he was not white. But that's okay. Dear Jesus and Archangel Raphael, thank you for boosting my faith so that I may trust in miracles. Usually Jesus comes to us in a form that we can actually understand. So that's why he looks like that. Okay. Fresh air. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me breathe easier in all ways. Yeah, I have cat allergies, and I have 4 cats. 2 long-haired and 2 short-haired, and I love them all. Diet is important here. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for guiding me to make positive eating and drinking choices and for reducing or eliminating my cravings for unhealthy substances. I ain't gonna lie. I love dark chocolate. Okay, so I will eat dark chocolate over milk chocolate. White chocolate is a whole nother ball of wax, whole other ball of chocolate, but I will eat sparingly. But I prefer dark chocolate, and the darker the better. I really appreciate it because it's really good for your heart. Milk chocolate, I don't. It's really processed, so I try to stay away from it. Fresh fruits and veggies, yes. Frozen veggies and fruits, yes. In the second part of the video that I recorded after I realized after I was told that I didn't have any audio, I talk about my diet and how I lost the weight. So that one I believe has audio. Believe does. Laughter is the best medicine. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for reminding me to detach and find the humor and irony in every human drama. drama. Sometimes it's hard to do that. So that's whenever you do call on Archangel Raphael, because I'm like, there's times where I'm like, I don't see the irony and I don't see the humor in this shit. Can you show me? Because I don't see it. But like the current political state, oh, irony. Oh, I see it. Humor, abso-fucking-lutely, I see it. I also see that it is helping us to set ourselves up for success in order to govern ourselves in a loving way. I see a lot of Native Americans going into politics. Not just the ones that are already in the House and the Senate, but I see a lot of natives. And it's not a bad thing. So expect a miracle. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, thank you for your miraculous intervention and healing energy, which has restored the health of, and then fill in the blank of the person. The more that you're in the energy of gratitude, the more things come to you, the more positive things come to you. Do more research. Dear Archangel, or dear God and Archangel Raphael, thank you for clearly and gently leading me to the information that I need to know for my well-being. Please give me the courage to be assertive as I take charge of my healthcare needs. So as this one comes up, I'm going to talk about Ecosia again. It's ECOSIA, and it's an app that's on your phone. It's free. It's also an extension on your browser. It uses Google, so it uses Google search, but it is carbon neutral. So it plants trees for every 40 searches that you do. So you're basically healing the environment as you're doing research. And so far, they've planted 81 million trees, and it keeps going. So I think my count just alone on my phone is like 1,400 trees. It says 1,400 trees on there. I haven't done 1,400. I think I've done 1,400 searches. But you can reset the count. And so it's been 40 of those, for every 40 searches. But I reset my count and I was at like 200. So on top of that, I've planted probably about 10 or 15 trees. Something like that. And that's what I use whenever that's on my extension. So I'm carbon neutral. So as I'm on here, I'm planting trees. As I do my research, I'm planting trees. Give us your cares. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, I am willing to release all fear or any fears to you. Please allow me to completely let go so that you can fully guide me in this situation. That's a biggie. You have to surrender in order to be led. And you have to trust, because the archangels are not going to lead you astray. They may take you out of your comfort zone, but that's what's needed for your growth. Like, this is outside of my comfort zone. Truly outside of my comfort zone. See, we're at 2 hours and 9 minutes right now. And that's cool. Call upon Archangel Raphael for help. So it says, Dear Archangel Raphael, I ask for your healing help with, fill in the blank. Describe the situation. Thank you for your divine healing intervention. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Last deck. And I didn't pull any cards from this one today, which is fine. Come on, there we go. It's the Lover's Oracle deck. These I found at Seattle Children's Boutique. Last year, there's times where I go in there and I'm like, I know there's something in here for me. Like I can feel it. So I walk around and I look and I find it. And then I'm like, I do have the funds. Okay, I'll buy it. This was like $4, I think. All the proceeds go to the hospital for research. And yes, I'm aware of the issue that they had with their air system, their air vent system. Totally aware of it. Hoping that they actually put some of that money towards that too. So everyone that's in there is a volunteer. None of them are paid. And I love that. So if you have a Seattle Children's Boutique near you, I have a lot of stuff that's in my house that I have bought from there. My Archangel Raphael, the Romance Angels, and the Archangel, scratch that. Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, and then my Messages from Your Angels I bought from there. They were all corporate donations. And the Messages from Your Angels, I actually gave a similar deck. It was my first deck, and I gave it to my sister a couple of years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. And then I was like, it's okay, it'll come back to me. I know that I'll buy that deck again. Like that deck will come back to me. And it did. What do you think, Bagheras? Love is beyond the brain. Ain't that the truth? Love is beyond the brain. Because that's not where we love. We love from here. We don't love from here. Pure love is like the perfume of the rose, given to all. The sun does not care upon whom it shines. The quality of true love, of pure love, knows no such distinctions as wife or husband, son or daughter, father or mother. I'm going to shuffle those again. I like to end the readings with a note from these, like a card from these or some messages from these, because they're all very loving. None of them are negative. They're all, it's the Lover's Oracle. I kind of consider this to be my my twin flame deck that I have currently. It has a lot of twin flamey messages. And they're deep and very poetic and very those two apparently. That one too. And I love the fact that it doesn't have a book, because it doesn't need a book. All of the, the descriptions are on the back, so it cuts down that extra paper. I guess not. Okay, I'm not going to argue. I think this one first. Some people come into our lives and quickly go. Others stay for a while leave footprints on our hearts, and we are never the same again. It's very, very true. Some people come into our lives quickly and go quickly. Others stay for a while, leave footprints on our hearts, and we are never the same again. There we go. Love is unexpected. You don't know when it will come. Yeah. And you shouldn't focus on when it's going to come, because then you're just pushing it away. Love is unexpected. You don't know when it will come. Love cures people, both those who give it and those who receive it. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Okay. So that's it from here. Now that I have made sure that, you know, the reading was out there, I still think that those messages from the first video, I ended up having to delete it. It was, I'm not even going to argue. It was, I had like a couple of minutes of sound, and then all of a sudden it just like stopped, and it wasn't, I didn't touch anything. I didn't touch my settings or anything like that. It just stopped. So I'm like, okay, well, and then it was like an hour or so before somebody said, can't hear you. And I'm like, okay, well, all right. And then I couldn't do anything about it. And I don't know, but it's cool. I started another live. And then I got to talk about my weight loss journey over there on that. So I'm grateful for the person who pointed it out. But yeah, so anyway, oh, I need to remember. I was like, please don't let me forget to close the circle. So I'm going to close the circle. So I give thanks to my guides. I give thanks to Goddess Danu. Release you in gratitude, Goddess Danu. I give thanks to the guardians of the seven sacred directions, and I release you in gratitude. We release you in gratitude. The guardians of the seven sacred directions are going to go backwards. So it's when I called them in, it was east, south, west, and north. So when you close a circle, you go counterclockwise. But I also went upper, middle, and lower. So lower, we release you in gratitude. Middle realm, we release you in gratitude. Upper realm, we release you in gratitude. In the north, we release you in gratitude. West, we release you in gratitude. South, we release you in gratitude. And east, we release you in gratitude. The upper realms are about the Akashic records and the angels and the ancestral, or not that, well, the ancestral is the lower realm. So that's like the bone kingdom, our ancestors, the gemstones, the gemstone kingdom, all of that. So, but the upper realm is the Akashic records. The Akashic records are the records of past, present, and future. That's the best, that's the quickest way I can condense it. So it's the records of everything that has been and will be. Very Whovian in a way. But they are records nonetheless. And you can go in there in meditation. There, you can find a meditation on YouTube. And you can call in Archangel Michael and Saint Germain and his violet flame. And then once you become attuned to the violet flame, which I'm attuned to the violet flame already. So what I do is, since I'm attuned to it, I just go, I go in meditation. I do it all by myself. I call in my guides. I create a circle. I call in the guardians. And then I call in my angels. And then what I do is I go into my Akashic records and I just imagine the violet flame burning away any pain or negativity. That's what I do. So you can do it however, whatever way it resonates with you. But that's how I do it. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here now that I am finished with the reading, and I'm going to blow out my candle. It's agate. It's blue agate. I think it's dyed, but it's still agate. And there's a portal right there. Nice little... Oh, you can see the druzy! There's like a little druzy. It's in there. It's druzy. It's gorgeous. A little geode in there. I got this at Earthbound Trading Company. And they do kind of match my nails. They do kind of match my nails. But I love agate. Agate is so amazing. Agate is... Oh, amazing. It's protective. It's grounding. It's... Can you get the druzy in there? It's okay. I do believe that this is dyed. So, anyway. All right, that's it from here. I love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching me do the cards and listening to me. And I really appreciate your presence here. Thank you so much. Bye.